People. First of all, I appreciate your time to either join me live tonight for this chat, or if you're watching on replay, as you can sort of tell by the state of my hair, how I feel. Yeah, stressful times. Listen, quite simply, there is so much to get off our chest. It's a time for us Villa fans to talk proper, real truths now, and maybe get off our tinted claret and blue glasses, because once again, we have been left bitterly disappointed as a fan base. Bitterly disappointed as a fan base when it comes to Aston Villa in big games and big moments. Before I do go any further and get into what I can only imagine is a bit of a retail therapy session right here, right now. But this is Crunch Talk. We're not going to mess around. There's no sort of beating around the bush. There's no, let's try and find the positives. There is nothing positive about today. Let's just put that into perspective. And I don't even want to hear, oh, it could have been the scoreline is the only thing that's positive because it would be a lot more. I don't want to hear any of that. Today is not a day for that. Today is to really sit back and look. And do you know what? I've even gone the extra effort. I've actually even taken some notes on my feelings so I don't miss any points. There's a lot of stuff going around social media as well of, troubles in the stands. When I say troubles, about Villa fans sort of having to go at other Villa fans for singing and chanting and not creating an atmosphere. You've got Villa fans as well voicing their frustration. And Crystal Palace completely not outdoing us on the pitch, but off the pitch. And look, this is no disrespect and this is not me calling out any game day fan. You go and you support the team. But, when you go online, you see fans who are at the game. And big up to Rich from the Villa Park podcast, who basically was there at the game. And, he had a fan turn around and tell him to stop singing and chanting. And that sort of stuff completely outclassed today by Palace on and off the pitch. And so it comes down to the real big question. We could potentially now be embracing in a really underwhelming season, maybe I'm going to go one step further, potentially a failure of a season. And that's the cuff of it. Now, I cannot call this a failure of a season yet because the season is not done. But the season is now becoming underwhelming. And the season is underwhelming because we have 4 Premier League games now to get our head around and hope and pray that other results go our way. The word failure is a strong one, but we cannot call it one yet until we see how it all ends. And today was the day. I've always said this. If Villa get to the FA Cup final, or if Villa won the FA Cup, then I would accept any European finish. I would accept finishing in the Conference League. However, to now be in a position where Villa aren't going to win a trophy after seeing Newcastle win one this season, and let's just put that into perspective. Remember this, Newcastle have won a trophy this season. We haven't. Teams that we're competing against, like Newcastle, climbing up. There could be a real dusty situation where Manchester United, or dare I say even Tottenham, go on to win a trophy this year. Let's just pause for that for a second. Manchester United or Tottenham may end up winning a trophy over us. Manchester United won a trophy last season and were crap, but they won a trophy. Tottenham have been crap this season and could win a trophy. And when I talk about winning trophies, and I did a show a month or two ago, saying, I think it was in fact just after Newcastle won the Carabao Cup, I said, now is the time for Villa to need to win a trophy. We must win a trophy. We need to win a trophy, and we need to do it fast. And if we don't win a trophy this year, it has to be next. What we don't want to do is fall into the abyss of being trophyless, while other teams around us are winning trophies. And let's even put this into even weirder perspective. Say Nottingham Forest beat Man City tomorrow. Forest or Palace are on course to win a trophy. I talk about trophies because it is a sign of progress. And all you need to do is look at Unai Emery's comments after the game today to know that Unai Emery has put massive emphasis on Aston Villa winning a trophy. He has made it his goal to win a trophy. He knows how important it is to win a trophy. And yet here we are, another season. It's madness. And why am I saying it's underwhelming? We've gone from, in the space of a week, being in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, in a top four race, and in the FA Cup semi-final, to now clutching and counting, are we going to end up in the Conference League? I will come to all the comments in a second. Big up to each and every single one of you. As you can see, this is going to be a real talk show. There's a lot of things we need to talk about, not just on the individual performances, but as a collective as Aston Villa. So make sure you're smashing the life out of the like button today. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and get in the comment section. And first of all, I want to say big up to Meeks, who's been a member for 12 months, a year on the show. Thank you so much. If you want to join the members clan, then absolutely do. But yeah, big up to you, Meeks. Appreciate your time, and you're one of our own as always. So let's get things quite clear right now. I'm not sat here right now saying Unai Emery out. No way. I'm not on Unai Emery out. But Unai Emery has got it stinkingly, abysmally wrong today. Again. Hence the again part in my title. It is an again section. It is an again fragment that Unai Emery got it wrong again against Palace. Not only is that, Unai Emery got it wrong against Olympiacos last season in a semi-final. Unai Emery got it wrong against PSG away. Unai Emery has got things wrong this season. And things have to change. There is a real mindset, real different approach to Unai Emery. And I'm going to give you the first stat of why I'm worried about this Villa side not improving. Are you ready for this one? Are you ready for this one? This was the 22nd time this season that Aston Villa conceded from the first shot on target. Let that sink in. This was the 22nd time this season that we've conceded from our first shot. That is on the manager. That is on the players and manager. Mentally and fundamentally, to concede 22 times from the first shot on target is a mentality issue, but it's also a structural issue. Talk to me about that. 22 times. I'm absolutely staggered by that. And I'll go to it again. I'm not sat here. I'm waving my flag right now saying Unai Emery out. But I've said this quite clear, I think. And I will say this, and I've said this all year. Unai Emery had to win a trophy this season, if not next season. And the reason why I keep banging this drum is please go into depth on Unai Emery post-match comments. He talks all the time about how important it is for a club like Aston Villa to win a trophy. The expectations of this guy is to win a trophy, whether you like it or not, it is. And he has to deliver. He has to deliver, and he is not. He is not. And we are going to fall short again. So there is pressure and expectation on this guy to have to win a trophy. I'm sorry. But I've got to give this guy next season to do this. So there are systematic errors, what I'm now seeing. And what you'll get is you'll get a lot of Arsenal fans. And I'll probably be honest here. I try not to listen to these Arsenal fans. I try not to listen to these guys who absolutely, want to crash on Unai Emery because of how he did. But they're basically telling me that sometimes Unai Emery can't multitask. And what they mean is that he can't do multiple competitions. They also say that Unai does seem to make these mistakes. I think my biggest worry of Unai last year was how he flunked that Conference League. So that was my first little sign of me. He's got this seriously wrong over two legs. Unai Emery, the man in Europe who rarely gets things wrong, who is got European heritage, 4 Europa Leagues. Yet my man flunked a Conference League semi-final against Olympiacos over 2 legs. And I thought, hey, what's going on here? But he got us top 4. So you sort of just forget the crash out in the Conference League. So what we now focus on here in our situation is that Aston Villa, in the greatest respect, have missed out on another great opportunity in a semi-final. I'm sorry, but when you are in a semi-final against Crystal Palace, who, in no disrespect, are not Aston Villa. Yeah, I'll go to my point about Unai Emery in a minute. We flunked that. Take the quarterfinals of the Champions League out. It's focused on the FA Cup semi-final. We've absolutely flunked it today. So that one hurt. But then the biggest thing now is, what if we end up with just Conference League football this season? Not Champions League, not Europa, but Conference League football. Genuine, quick question for the chat. I just need a yes or no. And if you're watching on replay, you can answer this as well. If Villa finish in the Conference League, but even though we've had an FA Cup semi-final and we've had a Champions League quarter-final run, do you see Villa as regressing, progressing, or the same? 3 options: progressing, the same, or regressing. Let me know in the chat. Progressing, same, or regressing. And if you can't bother to type regressing, just put R. Because we have to start now looking at that. Are Aston Villa, if we finish in Conference League positions, regress, stay the same, or progress? Because of the run that we've had this year on quarterfinals and, of course, as well, a semi-final. Now, the BBC tried to help out Villa at one point and said, listen, Villa have played 10 more extra games than Crystal Palace. They look tired. We look tired. 10 games. And this is where managing the squad. And this is the thing, right? This is the thing. We talk about our squad. Have we used that squad to its full efficiency today? Because do you know what? I've got to go back to it again. I've written down a player's name, Donyell Marlin. How must he feel today? Tyrone Mings, how must he feel today? And we're going to go through. A lot of you are making brilliant comments. In fact, let's do some shout outs. Big up to Captain in the house. Big up to Glenn. We have depth. Stop that. Where was that depth today, though, Glenn? Where is it now? If we're talking about our depth, where is it when we needed it? Is that on the manager or the players? Big up to Meeks. Big up to Adam. Big up to Danny's in the house. Carl Bates, Michael, 1874, Lee. Big up to LB98, Andy Mack, PC, Mike, Ken M, AVFC85. There's so many great comments. I promise you I'm reading them. As you can say, this is a bit of a get it off your chest. Alan Beard, Brian, Weston's in it, Illumatic, Ty. If you're in the chat, then big up to you guys. Big up Andy Brogan. Listen, as I said, do smash the like button for me as well, guys. We're here. We're here, locked in right now. I'm on that sort of vibe. We will talk about individuals. On my notes, individual players, there's a lot to talk about of individuals, not just people who actually played today. But I'm sorry, we need chats about Donyell Marlin and Tyrone Mings. Damn. How must those two feel? So, Unai Emery, systematic issues. So, when we come to, and this is why I'm focusing on the manager, okay? Let's get this into perspective. If I was to say this to you, 16-4, what does that represent, chat? 16-4. What does 16-4 represent? What does 16-4 represent? 16-4. What does 16-4 represent? Shout out to my love Heidi. She's here, working hard, and she knows I'm on a rant tonight. 16-4. What does that represent? I'll tell you what it represents right now. Not a beer, Kenem, but not quite shots on goal. Standing, but I like it. But as Meek said, an aggregate score of our last 5 games against Crystal Palace. 16-4. Stone Villain. The amount of goals misses to Hollies, yeah. Seb is spot on. I wish it was what Ken M said. The aggregate score of the past 5 Crystal Palace games, 16-4. Now, I yesterday went live at 7 o'clock, and we go live every night at 7 o'clock on these live shows. I went live at 7 o'clock yesterday and tried to say, relax. Relax, people. Relax. There's anomalies to all these games. Listen, that 5-0, we were all on the piss because we got Champions League. Listen, the 4-1 at Selhurst Park most recently. Emi Martinez went off injured at half-time. We had no Kamara. We had no Konsa. Let's keep making excuses. Carabao Cup. We had Philogene, Buendia, Bailey Duram. We had Costa at right back. We played Diego Carlos. I was trying to make excuses. I was trying to make excuses. And I was actually turning around and saying, do you know what? Crystal Palace haven't even faced the best Aston Villa. Now, I can't sit here and say differently. If you want to say, oh, but we don't have Rashford today, let's be real right now. Does Rashford change a thing today? No. No, he doesn't. Because it's on the manager. The manager's got it wrong. And individuals stunk the place out as well. And it was both. It's the manager and it is the players. Because I'm going to go into those players. Those players are getting cooked tonight, by the way. If you want to cook Villa players, you're in the right place. Because they can't hide behind that. They can't hide behind that performance today. And they can't let Unai take it. But when a manager loses 16-4 on aggregate, that comes down to the manager. That comes down to the manager. Apparently, Rashford's at the Chris Eubank thing today. I mean, that's disgusting as well. Look, systematically, Unai Emery just needs to stand there and go, guess what? I have no idea how to play against Crystal Palace's wing-backs. I have no idea how to play against their 3 at the back. And I have no idea how to play against a team on a transition against us. Every single game against Crystal Palace, they've allowed us to have the ball. We've had over 60% possession. Each time, they've allowed us to have the ball. And guess what? We get cooked. Doesn't matter who he picks, in my opinion, right now. If Unai Emery, he's tossed, he's tinkered, he's turned, he's tried different formations, he's tried matching Crystal Palace, he's tried being boxing up Crystal Palace, he's tried width against Crystal Palace. He has no idea how to box up against Crystal Palace. No idea. And when people say Glasner just has Unai Emery's number, right? I was trying to debunk that yesterday. After watching today, he has. You've got to ask this question, chat. How can you be 16-4 down on aggregate and not close the gap? How have we not addressed the problems? How narrow was this Aston Villa team today? What I don't get is, right, and I'll be honest, what I don't get is we know Palace play with wing-backs in Munoz and Tyreek Mitchell. We know that Eze and Sarr like to play wider. Why on earth did we play the box midfield? Why on earth did we have Marco Asensio coming deeper than Kamara and Tielemans at times? Why on earth did I see that from my Aston Villa side today? Completely denying the space out wide. We've got Morgan Rogers having to play right wing. Right wing Rogers. Don't. Did John McGinn play today? What was his role? It was a really, really poor, logical performance again. And lots of your comments, by the way, are spot on. Chat, you are on fire tonight, and I really do big you up. As you can say, this is where I want you to rant with each other, rant with me. Look, Conference League. If we don't get Conference League, then fuck me. Sack him. In fact, let me say that. Sack him. We don't get Conference League, sack Unai, because that's just a fucking joke if we don't even get European football in the position we are, right? We should get Conference League. But I don't get it. We're not playing our game. Or maybe we tried today. Maybe that's what we did. We've tried this box midfield the last couple of games. We've gone and done it today, and it's absolutely cooked us. It's cooked us. It was shocking. It was shocking. It was shocking. I'm absolutely bamboozled by it. And I think a lot of you can say this, that when we talk about it, does not matter who he plays or puts out there, right? That surely comes on the manager chat, right? I'm being reactionary there. I'm being reactionary there about actually sacking Unai. I don't believe it. I don't actually believe sacking Unai Emery. Let's just put this real, right? Someone asked me if we don't get Conference League, you have to be real. We have to be real. We're not going to sack Unai Emery. I've said that. We do not sack Unai Emery. But be real with yourselves now. Sit down with yourselves for a second. Sit down with yourselves for a second. What if Villa don't get European football? What are you all saying then? And yeah, we are definitely going to come on people like Ollie Watkins, and when we get onto these players, bring more energy. Bring more energy on the players than Unai. Because look, Europa League is our next band, really. What we have, if we win all 4 games, which we are capable of, Fulham at home and Tottenham at home, we should definitely win them. Bournemouth away is a nasty fixture, and Manchester United away is hell for us. We are going to have to rely on other teams, but Europa League, I sit there and go, do you know what? We go there. Okay. But when I said about sacking Unai Emery, yeah, I don't want that at all. Right now, that is not in there. But what I am saying is that we have to look at where are we going, and that is about progression. And look, and this is what I'm going to say, and this comment here: one bad season doesn't warrant sacking that man. If we've been awful all last season, I still give him a summon to fix it. So, can we please them? Are we putting the same energy into Ollie Watkins or Leon Bailey or players who have been off it? And that's the contradictory thing, is that I think that Unai does get a very good time at Villa, and he has done wonders for us. Let's all sit here and be real. Unai Emery has done wonders. He's created things that we could only dream of, right? He's created things that we could only ever dream of. Champions League football. Wow. Getting us back there. But as a Villa fan base, where are we going? Are we okay to drop off the faces of the earth again and go there? Look, that's where I'm at. That is where I'm at, is that we can't regress in a time where clubs are getting stronger, where Newcastle are back, where Tottenham are going to have a new manager bounce, where who knows what Manchester United are doing. We've been lucky in the sense of United and Tottenham being crap, and Chelsea for a few years, right? We have had that sort of gap in the market where Tottenham, United, and Chelsea have fallen off a cliff, and we've exploited that with Newcastle. Bang on. What I don't want us to do is drop off. And that's why I've got to keep these sort of standards high now. And I think, listen, I'll be really real with you. I think Unai Emery is saying the same things. If you want to go into his conversations, please look at Unai Emery cussing the life out of not winning this trophy. How many times does Unai talk about the owner's goal, visions, and dreams of Unai Emery and trophies? Right? He talks about it all the time. We have to now show somewhere. We either have to win a trophy, or we have to keep qualifying for Champions League. Which one? So let me ask you again right now. Okay? Because we've got people going from talking about now Conference League. A week or so ago, or 2 weeks ago, no way did we ever imagine we could be getting Conference League football, right? couple of seasons ago, a couple of weeks ago, we never even talked about Conference League football. Why is that in our mouthpiece? Because we're seeing Unai do some crazy things. We're seeing players do some crazy things. We're dropping off. We're dropping off. So, do you have that restoration in Villa, spending well in the summer with no Champions League football? And this Rashford thing's really winding me up that people keep talking about boxing, because that just sums it up as well. And that's not people telling me that, that's the fact that Rashford's there. So we're talking about, we've got a big summer ahead. Are we going to recruit with no Champions League football? Europa League will be a pool, but Conference League again. Look at João. All right, João Felix is the prime example. Whether you believe those rumours or not about João Felix was never even going to go to a club that was twerking for him in the Conference League. We tried twerking for João Felix in the Champions League, and he still rejected us. You think Rashford or Asensio would have come to us in January when we weren't in the Champions League or looking for that? And this is why our league position now is imperative. It's massive. But what I don't want us becoming is a one-season wonder or dropping off the face of the earth. We have to find that consistency. So I'd love Villa. I'd love to be here in a month's time and say, hey, we've got Europa League. Get in there. Still good. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. So I'm not going to go too much more into Unai Emery. But, there's always a but, I think we have to start being real here and say that Unai Emery has to not hide from this. But let's get on to these players. These players. Damn, these players. These players are absolutely being able to hide behind that performance there. And someone put it in the chat, and they said the players have embarrassed us this season. Sorry, not this season. The players embarrassed us as a club today. So that's fair. That first half, until the 35th minute, after we conceded, was like a pre-season / KG European first half away from home. We were shitting ourselves and didn't really know how to deal with the occasion. That's how it felt like. That first half was absolutely players gone into their shells. I think again, this is where I'm going back to Unai Emery. Possession. We have all this possession among our back four. Pau Torres to Konsa into Kamara into Tielemans, recycle the ball to Pau, we go again, stand on the ball, here we go. Are we going to play forward? No, we're not. Slow it down, slow, pass, sideways. That's an Unai Emery thing. But the players execute it so poorly. Pau Torres, for me, slows the whole tempo down. Difference with Tyrone Mings is Tyrone Mings goes a lot. He knows who he is. Tyrone Mings knows who he is. And he knows that his best attribute is to be a good, solid defender. And when he gets the ball out his feet, give it to the next forward player and let's play longer. Tyrone Mings always plays longer. Always likes that clip into the front man or clip down the channel. This constant slow possession today. It's on Unai Emery. It's on Unai. It's on the manager. It's the system and style that he wants to play. But what the players did was execute it atrociously. I'll say this again. Ezri Konsa is crap without Tyrone Mings in a Villa shirt. Ezri Konsa is lost without Tyrone Mings. Seeing some great comments as well about Donyell Marlon, which I'm going to go into because I told you about this guy wanting to. He's going to leave. Told you. It's going to happen. It's going to be so embarrassing. Big players didn't turn up. Mings miles better, get stuck in. And people asking the question, why did we not go? And PC is right. We talk about possession around the back. It's crap if you're doing nothing with it. So, Ezri Konsa for me is a shadow of what he is. Every Konsa moment is exposed because of Powell. Sorry, I need another cushion for my back. By the way, people, let's run this stream up to 50 likes. Would massively help me out. I appreciate it all out here. Appreciate all the support. But run the stream out. Readjust your seat like I've just done. My back absolutely was giving way there. I was like, oh boy, this is not good. This is not good. My back was absolutely giving out. But yeah, listen, real talk now. No one's a happy bunny at all. And I've got to say this. I've got to say this right now. Let's start on Emi Martinez. Some people are saying he's living off the World Cup. Do you know what the biggest thing that fucked me off about? Yeah, it is, by the way. I don't mind it. I'm sort of saying that highly, that, yeah, drop in the odd bomb here and there. I've done it today, so it's fine. Mods do not block anyone who's dropping in the odd curse word here and there. Because if I'm doing it, I can't tell people in the chat not to do it, so that's all right. Look, Emi Martinez. Let's all start on him. We're going through the team now. Emi Martinez. My God. Biggest thing that pissed me off about that guy today? Knee sliding, doing his thing when Mateta misses the penalty. Is he okay? He didn't save it. Mateta missed it. And I'm watching my keeper. Does that not annoy anyone else? Because if, by the way, Dean Henderson does that, I'm absolutely rent-free. My own keeper's just done it. When my goalkeeper is knee sliding and going crazy, when we're 1-0 down, by the way, because someone's missed the penalty and he hasn't saved it, it's like he's claiming it. It's like he's claiming it. That drove me mad. Just I turn around and say, just concentrate on saving the ball. Concentrate on saving the ball in real time. The Eze goal. Bloke takes the wrong step. He second guesses, he steps to the left, can't readjust his body, watch it in slow motion, and then can't get a strong enough hand. Steps to the left, can't do that. Okay? Second goal. How's Sarr beating him from that far out? And then, so when I did the show with Luke from at the Villa Fan Channel, Luke and I did a live, if you remember, a few weeks ago. And after the game, Luke talked about Emi Martinez. And this isn't throwing Luke under the bus. Luke said, do you know what? There could be a world where Emi Martinez gets sold in the summer, or we get rid of Emi, and Villa fans would find that crazy or that. And he said, but let me show you something. And he showed me this stat of Emi Martinez's save percentage. Emi Martinez's save percentage, and I said it in my watch along today, by the way. Emi Martinez is at a save percentage of 60-odd%. Second lowest in the Premier League, behind the Leicester City keeper. Put it into perspective, his Champions League save percentage is 80%. Emi has been off it, and off it in the Premier League. Yeah? The performances of Emi Martinez in the Premier League this season, the stats are now showing us way off it. And so I've got to sit there and scratch my head and say, why? How is this guy? And my friend Joshua, big Liverpool fan, he actually keeps telling me Emi Martinez is one of the biggest myths in world football about being the world's number one. He doesn't quite understand it. He doesn't understand how this guy is always talked about as a world number one or wins trophies for it. And I sort of stand there and go, nah, he is good. He's a great shot stopper, very commanding of his box, his penalty record, he's won the big trophies. Like, come on now, what are we doing here? Maybe, just maybe, this season we've sort of seen a different side. There is a rumour that Emi Martinez psychologically struggles and has to seek psychologists all the time, especially when he goes through a bad patch. Do you know what I mean? He often has to do that. He did that for Argentina in the World Cup. Mentally, he's got to sort it out because right now he's on a real poor run of form. He's not saving shots that we'd expect. Look at that Man City game, the goal against Bernardo Silva, embarrassing. Look at today, the Eze shot. Big moments, big time players need to come in and step up. We're not getting that. So that annoys me. That annoys me. I think that Debu, as people are saying, is do we cash in on him this summer? Or is it? Do you know what I'm not having? And I'll probably say this one. I don't believe that if we had a better number 2, Emi Martinez plays better. I don't believe that. Just think it's all down to him. I think it's all down to his concentration, his psychological state, and maybe some technical stuff now. Seeing him step one way and second guessing shots. I don't think competition as a goalkeeper necessarily breeds performance. I think on outfield players it does, but basically, let's put it this way. Does Alisson Becker play better because Quaven Kelleher's on the bench? No. Becker's just a class keeper. And they label Quaven Kelleher as the best number 2 in world football. You know? You know that? You know that feeling? You know that vibe? That's how I see it. It's all about getting it right. So there we go. I don't think the goalkeeper issue is important. Right, let's talk about fullbacks. Honestly, in the chat right now, let me know your thoughts on Cash and Luca Dean. Again, I thought Luca Dean was the wrong option. How bad or how much better will we when Matson came on? Matty Cash shits himself going forward. Matty Cash shits himself going forward. And I've got to say this. I think that again, what's the crap with Garcia? What's the crap with Garcia? What is the crap with Garcia? What's going on there? Has he become the new Costa Djokovic? Has he gone off the radar? Are we just giving up on Garcia? We don't even see him anymore. We don't even see him anymore. So I don't understand the Garcia situation. Cash is absolutely, for me, good to a level, but doesn't excel us. Even better than that, Meeks. And we were so much better when Matson was on the pitch. And I was asking for that Ian Matson one. So, fullbacks. Konsa had a stinker today, but let's get more into Pau Torres. I've got to go into this guy. I'm sorry. I've got to go into Pau Torres. The reason I've got to go into Pau Torres is if this guy was not a Spaniard, he wouldn't be rated. I don't care what anyone says. We overindulge in European players and who are left-footed. We overindulge in European players who are left-footed, and we think they're the next bloody homecoming. Okay, let's be real. Okay, if Pau Torres was English, he wouldn't be rated. Facts. If Pau Torres wasn't Spanish and he was English, he wouldn't be rated. The guy does not want to defend. The guy is a reversing truck. Beep, 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 beep. Slowest turn and circle I've ever seen in my life. Slowest on moving his feet. And do you know what sums up for that Sarr goal? He did it again. Ball's there to be won. Beep, 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 beep. Have a shot, have a shot, have a shot. You just unbelievable the way Pau Torres defends one-on-one. It's like he doesn't want to put his body on the line. It's like he doesn't want to defend and be gutsy and close the ball down. And I said it earlier, him in possession slows the whole game down. Why we play Pau Torres, do we? Because he can pick a pass, because he can break a line. Mate, I didn't see any of that impact today. What I saw is again my centre back being absolutely gassed. He runs in mud. He's slow, and he backs off. Tyrone Mings, I would be banging on Unai's door tomorrow. By the way, big up to everyone. Keep smashing the life out of that like button for me. And of course, I've put in the channel membership as well if you want to be a member. Big up to Goatser. Liverpool fan, big up to Goatser. Channel member for 44 months. That is absolutely solid. That is absolutely world class from the Goatser. So big up to you. Thank you for being one of our own. And I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. By the way, chat, you're on absolute fire. I'm loving all the comments. Loving the interactions with myself as well. We all know Ming should have played today. Every bloody man, dog, woman, goldfish knew that Ming should have played and he didn't. Didn't even feature. Shocking. So I'm done with Pau Torres. If I'm honest. Yuri Tillemans and Kamara. Now this is a hard one. Those two have been consistent performance for us this season. No doubt about it. They're worst games for Villa in a while. Yuri. A non-impactful Yuri Tillemans game where every pass was jaded, was off, was no creativity. Kamara looked like he's running in mud, gave away the penalty. Hard to go in on those two because they've been so good for us, but I actually thought they were mind-blowingly awful. And that sums it up when he brought on Ross Barkley for Kamara. And Ross Barkley straight away, the intensity and the tempo, but we're not even going to go on the subs yet. Let's talk about the starting lineup. Okay. I'm really torn on this one, and I need your help. John McGinn. Another game where John McGinn, where we've needed a captain on the pitch. Did anyone even realise McGinn was playing today? Did anyone even see John McGinn today? Did anyone even feel John McGinn's today? The bro's lost. There's another game that passes McGinn where you look back and he'll look back and regret it and think how he wish he had more impact wearing that armband. And that's what upsets me probably the most is that, again, this is where I'm going to go on the manager a little bit, whether you like it or not, people. Is John McGinn getting absolutely used and abused for his positioning? Is John McGinn actually being played in the correct positions? Is John McGinn absolutely being given the best chance to get the best out of him to help impact this Villa team? Or are we just messing around with it? You've got to ask those questions. Because John McGinn, for me, is getting absolutely done over in an Unai Emery system. The best I've seen John McGinn is when he found a settled role when Kamara was out the side. Tell me if I'm wrong. When Kamara is injured and Onana is injured, John McGinn gets to go and play in that CDM role alongside Yuri, and he has a settled position. John McGinn right wing, John McGinn left wing, absolutely don't want to see it. John McGinn trying to play it in this sort of 10 role in a box, don't want to see it. John McGinn cannot play in an Unai Emery system unless he's in a double pivot. And so it comes down to shoehorning. And when it comes down to shoehorning, as 85 says, that's on the manager. Exactly that, Ken. But Asensio John McGinn duo was crap today. It didn't work. Agree, Paul Welford as well. But what I'm trying to tell you is sometimes it's really hard to crash on a player when they're absolutely being given the wrong tools and set up incorrectly. I'm really, really unhappy about the way we've used John McGinn again today. But who was even worse? Marco Asensio. My gosh, what's happening with this guy? What's happening with him? He comes to Villa, he takes us all by storm, he scores a few braces. It's like everything he touches comes to gold. And then we seal the realness. Damn. He stunk against Southampton. He flopped PSG. And he goes missing when we need him. Sensio in the first half was doing my absolute Sweden. Why? The guy was coming deep, deep, deep. A deep sea diver. It was like he was going, I'm getting bored of this Crystal Palace mid block. I'm not touching much of the ball. So what I am going to do is I'm going to come and just play a little bit deeper. I'm going to come and search for the ball off the centre backs. So basically, take out one of our attacking outputs, which we badly need, and basically kill us like that. Do you know what? I think Unai Emery is allowing that to happen because it's Marco, it's a golden boy. If Morgan Rogers was doing that, we'd all be going mental. If we saw Morgan Rogers have to keep picking the ball off the centre halves, we'd be going mental. Asensio flopped again for the Villa. And I said this as soon as I said it to Heidi, and big up to Heidi if she's still working out and listening, is that I said as soon as Asensio goes off, the intensity and tempo will improve. Ross Barkley and Jacob Ramsey come on, Asensio goes off, we move the ball quicker, we play quicker, we absolutely transition quicker. Asensio slows us right down. He doesn't offer anything on the press. He doesn't offer anything in terms of being able to create from deep. It's another game where Asensio's Casper the Ghost did it. Morgan Rogers cannot crash on this guy when he's played out of position again. How awful was it to see Morgan Rogers stuck on that right-hand side today? How awful was it to see Morgan Rogers stuck on that right-hand side today? And even then, he was creating for us the best he could, drawing that early yellow card on Tyreek Mitchell. But again, a jaded performance. Looked tired, looked sloppy, just like Yuri, just like Kamara. Not really taking the game by the storm. And there's been a lot of talk about these boys. There's been a lot of talk about these boys. I don't know if anyone's seen the Morgan Rogers Ollie Watkins clip that's going a little bit viral about the fact that Watkins said something to Rogers. Rogers looked at him, turned away. Watkins can't see his face, and Rogers goes as if to say, I don't want to listen to you. What I'm really hoping, where I look at this, is I hope there's not an ego kicking into our players. I hope the players haven't started believing their own hype. Because you can't be these players and believe how good you are if you don't back it up with success. And that is the parameter of success. Newcastle players humbled themselves. Newcastle worked hard this season. And Newcastle absolutely, as much as I hate Newcastle, by the way, and it pains me to say this, Newcastle players stayed focused, didn't listen to the hype, continued to grow and develop. I just saw that with Rodgers today, and I thought, let's ground yourself, because let's go to Ollie Watkins. How many people want to go in on Ollie Watkins right now? We talk about believing your own hype. Ooh. Mr. I don't want to be on the bench anymore. Mr. I shouldn't be on the bench anymore. Mr. Arsenal were interested in me and I didn't get that move and my performance has dropped since that. Mr. It's everyone else's fault but mine. Yeah, that's right. You're hearing a bit of disdain on Ollie Watkins for the first time ever from me. And that is where I know I'm sort of fed up with a player. Because I've absolutely backed Ollie to the hills. I'll say this again, I've fallen out with people on the channels because of Ollie Watkins. I've absolutely not had any bad words said about this guy. And for the first time, I'm now holding my hands up saying, Ollie, I think I've been right with Ollie until January. And AVFC 85 does make a good point, and Bale Tidy said it was obvious that about the tempo, it really was. What's he supposed to do with no service? I completely agree. Again, it comes on Unai Emery. Again, on the way he systematically sets us up. So I'm putting that on Unai. But I've got to then say to Ollie, you're talking at the wrong time. Do the talking at the end of the season for me. Do the talking at the end of the season. Let the season finish, then say your opinions on the Rashford situation, on being on the bench, on Arsenal, on what it means. That's probably where I'm at. And that's what I think Tyrone Mings may do, okay? So this is where I'm sort of going around in my head. And people like Leon Bailey, because Slick is right. In a world where Tyrone Mings potentially leaves Aston Villa this summer, could happen. That's what he'll say, because of the lack of game time that he was given. Because of how much that he felt he could still have an impact on the Villa team and in the Premier League, and it isn't given it. Daniel Marlon might say the same. But I think that Ollie Watkins speaking during the season out of crunch points. Basically, I only need to go back on my stream. I think I did that Watkins bench stream. I'm going to look at my lives now. Okay, because big up to everyone, by the way. The likes are ramping up. Let's get up to 75 likes. Do subscribe to the channel if you're new, and do turn off the notification bell. If you like these type of streams, we go live 7 p.m. every night. We try and stay consistent. We love these talk shows. I love the interaction. The chat is flying tonight. I love seeing a chat like this. I think all your opinions are worthy, valid. If I could go through each and every one I could, we'd probably be here till midnight. But I've got to respect, I promise you, I do read what you're saying, and you are absolutely worthy. Right, Watkins. Where is it? So we did 4th of April was about the Ornstein Arsenal noise came up. Okay, Ollie Watkins, I'm not happy. 14th of April, before the PSG game. Watkins wants to start, I called it. Awful timing. Awful timing. Awful timing, by the way, for Watkins to start vocalising how he feels. That's what I said. Let the season peter out and then set. And I do think that is something to stand on. And I do think that's maybe where you see disdain between players. The lack of respect. Emery has changed the trajectory, not the mentality of his team. Interesting. I just got some merit to that. And Meeks is saying you probably shouldn't voice your dissatisfaction with not starting when other attacking players have shown better form, been given much less chances. And that's the issue. Rashford and Ollie. Now, again, I'm talking, this is, by the way, live pure thoughts, and I've never thought about this. How did Ollie Watkins respond to John Duran situation? Poor. If we had to deep it, poor. Basically didn't like John Duran being on the scene, wants to be the main man, didn't respond well to competition. Rashford comes in, he's responded the same. We talked about that. For me, the number 2 goalkeeper doesn't really impact the number 1's performance levels, but Ollie Watkins is starting to show that when there's someone knocking on his door, he throws a bit of a tantrum. I've never said this about Watkins. And those of you who've been on my channel long enough know that I have always defended this guy. But I'm starting to see it. This is what I said. Today's about taking off our Villa lenses and let's start speaking some harsh truths about what we're seeing. And there'll be people in this chat and who will still find it hard to criticize Unai Emery. We have to start looking at the collective performances of Unai Emery in big games and big moments and start saying, listen, we still love you. We still think you're the guy to guide us to success. Please don't keep making the same mistakes. That common phrase, isn't it? Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Tell me I'm not wrong. You keep playing Axel Disasi at right back. It's a little bit insane, Unai, because we know he's going to get cooked out there. You keep playing Morgan Rogers wide right. You're not going to get the best out of him. You keep fumbling against Crystal Palace. And you did the same thing. So I'm not sat here, again, and I want to keep putting this on record. I'm not sat here saying I'm Unai Emery out. What I am saying is now let's stop saying that in Unai Emery we trust and Unai Emery is our saviour. What we have to now start saying is in Unai Emery we love, but you need to start backing up and getting it right in the key moments. He was doing the same with Bogart before Disasi is correct. Selling Duran, is that an Unai Emery thing? Or was that an Ollie? And that is a big thing about Duran as well. I know Duran was a handful. Did Unai just wave the flag? I can't be bothered with that. So, questions and ponder. Costa Najalkovic. Pointless signing. Then we go get Garcia. Pointless signing. We're not addressing the issues. We're not improving where we had. Selling the centre back in Diego Carlos when we were short on defenders, as turgid and as crap as Diego Carlos is. And there we go. And this is maybe here. Again, by the way, every single person in this chat, you are entitled to your opinion and view. I love it. I love that we can have these discussions. But I've just got to ask Paul, why does Unai Emery get another 4 years? What if, Paul, in those 4 years, right, Paul, in those 4 years, Tottenham win a trophy, Newcastle win another, Man United win another, and let's even say, let's throw someone wild and crazy in there. What if someone like Brentford or Bournemouth? Come on. We have to set a milestone. What we can't do, in my opinion, is keep allowing this idea that we can go another few years without trophies. He got it wrong in his first couple of years. Did you see how he disrespected? Did you see how he disrespected the Carabao and FA Cup in the first couple of years? In knocked out in the third rounds. I'm thinking, geez, Louise, man. Do you not understand this club? 29, 30 years without a trophy. Are we okay with that? Are we okay going nearly 30 years without a trophy now? I'm not. And this year was one of the best chances in that FA Cup, and we fucked it on the day. Exactly, Michael. Exactly on what Michael said. Palace had a team huddle pre-whistle. We came out like there'd been a bust up in the locker room. It's an interest in the psychology, isn't it? And that's what I said. It looked ropey. I mean, that Morgan Rogers clip. Guys, have you seen the Morgan Rogers clip? Like, I don't know if we can put this. This probably summed it up for me, actually. About I've got to find it now. And by the way, people, big up to you guys. I don't know when I'm gonna. I thought I'd only go for like half an hour, 45 minutes. But the stream's doing really well, and also I'm loving this talk. Where is I've got to find that clip now. Rogers Watkins. Hopefully it's got to be in the top thing. There we go. I've got it right. Here we go. Have a look at this clip. Have a look at this clip here. I've got to show you this in case you haven't seen it. Okay, watch this. I'll play it on loop a few times. Ollie says something to Morgan. Says something. You can hold it where you want or whatever, okay, and you can reinterpret it or not. But a face says everything, doesn't it? A face says everything, and maybe that showed the lack of chemistry on the pitch today. The lack of chemistry on the pitch. I've seen Watkins throw his arms around a few times. Man City game as well, we had a bit of that. And I look at it and genuinely think that, little details like that is madness. Palace were hungry. They were a unit. Their fans were together. As he said, you could see the players were together. They were aggressive. They were physical. They were fast. They wanted it. It looked like Villa were sort of not a collective group. It was all about individuals. It was about players not coming together and pulling together. It was about hoping a moment of magic would help us. And today was just not the day. But where do we go? It's all on this finish of the season. We're going to get and I'm going to need your honest opinions on where we finish. So right now in the chat, put in the chat, sell or keep Ollie Watkins for me. Sell or keep. Sell or keep. But I actually agree with what Gary said as well. I'm sat here and I thought, Palace didn't even really get out of second or third gear. They just played transitional football. They actually just played transitional football. And that worries me. Okay. A lot of you, the chat is torn with selling or keeping Watkins. I think that's going to be the big debate of the summer about Ollie Watkins. Some will sell, some will keep. As Captain said, who can you replace him with? Have we got a replacement in? If Ollie's head's not at Villa, he has to go. If he wants to play for the badge and we need to build around him better, and Unai Emery needs to get his system back to getting the best out of Ollie Watkins, but which, by the way, last season, we somehow knew how to get the best out of Ollie. You've got to ask yourselves this. Again, is that on the manager to tidy this up? It's an interesting one. Right. I've never done this before because I didn't realise it was going to go long. I've drunk a lot of water today. I need to go to the toilet for 30 seconds during a live. Please don't go anywhere. But I'm going to ask you this quick question. In the chat right now, I want to hear your opinions on Donyell Marlon. Whether about his gameplay or whether how you would feel about Donyell Marlon. What is your genuine feeling on Donyell Marlon? Please do not go anywhere. I've got to quickly run to the toilet. Anyone who knows me, and there's a lot of loyal people in there who've been on my shows a lot, on the watch-alongs, I always have to go at half-time. I've got a granny bladder. I've got a weak bladder. I've got to go. I was going to hold it, but I really can't, and I lose focus of what I'm trying to say. So yeah, got to go. Daniel Mallon, comments right now. I'm going to come read them. Damn it. I'm back, chat. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. Oh dear. Yes, I did wash my hands before anyone asked. Let me just close the door. Um, yeah, like up the stream, people. Like up the stream for me. Like up the stream. Whew. Sorry, I needed that. If you need a toilet break there, yeah, big up to this. I'm enjoying the stream. I'm enjoying you lot. And you lot are world class. So love it. Right. You know when you just drink fluid all day and you store it up, and all of a sudden you break this and you've got to go. I think that's where I'm at. So yeah, I did see, by the way, Ken M super chatting, legend, legend, legend. Always appreciate your support, Ken M, as always, doing the real thing, dropping that. And then, guys, if you do want to become a channel member, then I've put that in there as well. Then feel free to get that lovely badge next to name and support the channel. But yeah, Donny Mallon. But geez, Louise, chat. Geez, Louise. Right. So my take on Daniel Mallon, I said this, and again, my channel can correct me if I'm wrong, but I said this about the Don Mallon. I said, don't be surprised if we sell Mallon in the summer or he forces his way out. And this was before Don Mallon had scored his goals. This is before Daniel Mallon had actually scored for Villa, where he's come off the bench and done the business. All right, and this is before Forest, this is before Southampton. I turned around and said, do you know what? If I'm Daniel Mallon, you've got to leave Aston Villa. You've got to. 100% got to. And I don't want any of this BS about, oh, but next season, big up Piotr. Next season, he's moulded in. Nah, let's talk real talk about professional footballers. You don't sign in January to be a next season project. You don't leave Borussia Dortmund in Germany to come to England to be a next season project. You certainly do not come to Aston Villa knowing you're signing for a team in the Champions League to then be left out of the Champions League. You certainly don't come to Villa to basically have to beg to start a game and almost being sarcastically overloved by the players when he scores a goal because it's a bit like, let's be so happy. And then for us to then hold on to his goal to game ratio of minute to games is crazy. And then do you know what happens today? Bailey comes on before him. Bailey comes on before Daniel Mallon today. Now I've got, and by the way, again, contradictory to this, I said bring on Bailey. I said I feel like this could be a Bailey day. For Leon Bailey, who's been out injured, not included in matchday squads. Yeah, Bailey to not be included in matchday squads, and then all of a sudden he gets picked over Daniel Mallon. Let's be deep here and real. If you're a professional footballer and you're seeing this circus going around you, get left out of the Champions League squad. You're being told by Unai to be patient, bide your time, keep being versatile and flexible. Just need you to adapt to the system. To see then Morgan Rogers play right wing over you, player who has been against square pegs and round holes, and he's still not getting picked. That was the one for me where I've gone, I'm going back to my original shout. I think he leaves this summer. Unless he can get 100% guarantee that he is going to be part of the Villa plans, why would you stay? Why would you stay? Honestly, why? I'm struggling to see. Like, you've already basically left bad taste in his mouth by the Champions League omission. But FA Cup semi-final, you bring on Leon Bailey, who's been injured, and this isn't criticising Leon Bailey, by the way. It's on the manager. Now let's talk about Leon Bailey. I agree. We've got to, Michael, I'm with you on that. And captain as well. You know, I am coming harder on Bailey than some of the players because when I could really deep it, how can we crash it on players who are being played out of position or the system changing? Leon Bailey did well today. Came off the bench. He had an impact. He was direct. Dare I say it? He's the opposite of what Unai Emery probably wanted because he doesn't slow the tempo down. Leon Bailey has proven to be a bit of a leader at times on the pitch. We saw Lille in the Conference League where we came from behind and his sort of telling players to calm and there's plenty of time and all that. I've seen him do it again. I think Bailey sort of wanted to step up and be that leader at Aston Villa. There's a lot of people, I'm probably one of them, who believes Bailey will get sold in the summer as part of making money for us. We could probably get a good price for him. But the most sickening thing, as some of you said in the chat, is I can see Leon Bailey going elsewhere, and I would hate it to be in England and absolutely flourish, and we go, what could have been? Yeah? Imagine if Bailey goes to an English club and moves on and does so well. So then we got to say, well, okay, Bailey goes. Do we need to recruit wide players or are we okay with Donyell Marlon? The biggest cut this season, and I'm going to be brutal about this, Jaden Philogene Bidice has messed up our season. Yeah, deep that. JPB, Philogene. Why? Because we signed this guy thinking he was going to be the real deal. We signed this guy thinking he was going to be a starting winger. We signed this guy thinking he was going to add the depth that we've needed. No, again, a little bit extreme. We're all hot-headed. Yeah, I might do that in a minute, Michael. Philogene, Summer, killed our wide options. Yeah, and that's what Meeks, exactly what I'm trying to say, Meeks, is that we over-relied on Leon Bailey. Because our lack of wingers. We put a lot of pressure on Bailey's performances. And so I'm with Slip. Keep him. Maybe give me one more chance with Leon Bailey next season. However, pretty good business, though. Exactly, Mike. Business, but I was going to say, is football really a business? It is. It really is. So there we go. I'm going to do a poll, what Michael's just asked a second in the chat. But look, in terms of those squad players, in terms of that, now let's paint doomsday. Let's paint some doomsday effects, which I don't think is going to happen. But let's go to a doomsday effect and then the best possible effect. Doomsday scenario. Aston Villa finish in a league position that puts us in the Conference League / we miss out on Conference League. Aston Villa fail to comply with PSR. Aston Villa have to sell. Aston Villa have a massive clear out in which players like Ollie Watkins, Leon Bailey, Luca Dean, Emi Martinez all leave. And Jacob Ramsey. How do Villa rebuild? And this is what my probably deepest worry is that we actually may have to rebuild our whole attack. If Watkins goes, if Bailey goes. That's going to be tough. That's doomsday. We know the pull of Champions League football because it was essentially on Rashford. We know what that can do in terms of our recruitment. There is a proper scenario here where our European positioning helps us. Now, Bonga Bonga said that's really OTT, hence why I called it Doomsday. I called it Doomsday because there is a world where that could happen. Let's not forget here, chat, we are in a really, really awful position when it comes to PSR. We have to deep that. We were in a good position to be able to sell Louise and Diaby, still have a strong enough squad, and have Champions League football, and be able to recruit well. We really could be in a really awful situation because of PSR. That we actually are in panic mode. There's also the brighter situation. Let's paint brightness now. Yeah, big up to Gary. I said that stat. It's my first point on my notes about that one. I agree on that. It's shocking. It's a mentality issue as well. I'm going to do a poll in a minute about Unai, so don't go anywhere. I want to see the consensus. But positive vibes. Villa qualify for the Champions League / Europa League. We win our next 4 games. We beat Fulham. We beat Bournemouth. We beat Tottenham. We beat Manchester United. Teams around us slip up and we creep into the Europa League or Champions League positions. Villa, from there, have no international commitments in terms of Euros. We have a fully fit squad. Unai Emery goes early in the transfer window and recruits the players that he wants. And we recruit the players that we have been targeting, and we improve and bolster our squad. Villa go back again next season with an even stronger squad. We've done our dealings early. We've sorted out the Watkins staying situation. We've sorted out the fact that we've agreed an extension on Kamara's contract. We've sorted out, the finances. And in that sense, we're stable. We're good. We're going to give it another bash next season to get European football and then to go and try and win a trophy. There's happy days, there's doomsday. Where do I land? Smack bang in the middle. It could go either way. And someone's put a really big thing in here, and this is massive, and it's true. Unai Emery has been given now the resources to build. Do we trust him to do it again? Do we trust him to do it again? I'm gonna say some names to you. Unai Emery signings. You ready? Kostan Ajolkovic, Garcia, Onana, Ross Barkley, Philogene Bidice. How many of those players start for Aston Villa? Daniel Marlon, Illing Jr., Enzo Baranchea. What are we doing with this rebuild? Fringe players? Questions. And that is why I think there's pressure on Unai Emery coming into these last 4 games. Because let's do this poll right now. I'm going to do a poll right now in the chat. I'd love you all to get involved in it. Please smash that the like button. Can we get to 85 likes? Okay, let's try and do something like this. Okay, the poll is going to be this. How much do you /trust Unai Emery to win us something? To win us a trophy or get Europe? Get UCL. Okay. 100%. He is the man. 75%. Okay, and then here you go. Poll coming up right now. Okay. Okay, here we go. Polls up. Get in there. I want to see it. How much do you /trust Unai Emery to win his trophy, get UCL, UEL next season? 100% he's the man. 75% is still back him. He worries me. 50% I'm torn. 25% change needed. Just to see how many people are still 100%. Get in those votes. Let's run it up and let's see what you come out with. Lou Barry. Bloody hell. Talks about motivation, focus, don't see it. It's true. It's true. I really said be careful what you wish for. Exactly. The grass isn't always greener, and I'm on that one. But I want to see what people are putting in the chat. There's 28 votes on this poll. Run that poll up right now. See, you asked me a month ago. I don't have one. 100% a month ago, that would have been run up higher on 100%. 100%. Yeah, why don't we get Glasner so he can never beat us again? Yeah, and that's the thing. We can't get anyone better than him. Is where we have to sort of maybe look at. Right now, I don't think we can get better than him. Let's see it. Let's see. I'm just going to see how many more votes. 30 votes on the poll. So 75% of you, sorry, 50%. So half the votes, 15 of you have said that you're more of the 75%. Still back him. He worries me. Look, he has his moments, doesn't he? And look, Paul Welford's right as well. Unai's never won a trophy in England, by the way. That could haunt him for the rest of his life to not win a trophy in England. So we have to be real. We have to say that Unai Emery is still steering our ship. He's still at the helm. He has taken Villa in a great trajectory where we are. That's the positives. The realism. No, he didn't win the FA Cup. No, it was Arteta's. He has done so well for us, and that's the realism of it. He's taken us on journeys we never thought we would in Europe and in the league. Reality, he's starting to flop in big games. We can list 3 or 4 off the top of our heads of where Unai Emery, big game, big moment, come off the man, come off the hour, flops. And this is where no other Villa manager has ever been backed like Unai Emery. He's been given money, chat. So we talk about the fact that, he's the best we've ever had. Money talks, and he's been given money to spend, and therefore he should be able to recruit. He should be able to build better than any Villa manager has ever had in the past. So when you really deep it, Unai's starting to spend money. He's got to use it effectively. Do you trust him to build that squad with money? Or is he quite simply better with underdogs and less pressure? Is that what Unai Emery is made for? The underdogs. Because Villa have put expectation and pressure on themselves now, and we have to live up to that. And we're not. And we're struggling with the pressure. The other reality check is that other teams around us are winning trophies and are progressing. Newcastle. Say this again. This one hurts me a lot. This one hurts me a lot. Tottenham and Man United could win a trophy this season. For these amazing European nights, we will have this in our season. Exactly. Emery's done that with us. With the same backing that Jared has. I would love to know that comparison meets. I would love to know the comparison of what Gerrard had to play with and what Unai has. And no, they didn't. And that's why winning a trophy was massive for Newcastle this year. I find this quite interesting, actually. We're really bad against low blocks, but this one's really interesting as well. There is always that narrative. Unai is a masterclass. He's an overthinker. He's this, he's that. Why don't the players show that on the pitch in these big games? Why don't we not see players run their nuts off? This is the one that probably pissed me off today. Yes, we play against the low block. Yes, we struggled against the low block or the mid block. Look, Palace won every first and second ball. Palace wanted it more across the grass. Palace just absolutely competed like I've never seen a team compete physically. And we were 6s and 7s slower. We were slow. We were lethargic. It was like, come on. Come on. Grab the game by the balls and sort it out. Unai has got it right in big games as well, Rich, and I'm glad you're putting that balance and perspective on it. Okay, I think that's really important that we also have people who wave the flag for that side, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to I'm trying to give it both sides, I guess. I'm trying to give it both versions of Unai Emery. But ultimately, this will be like where I'm probably going to round off here. Unai Emery, okay, we're not going to judge Unai Emery on quarterfinals of Champions Leagues and semi-finals of Conference Leagues, are we? In 10 years' time. Martin O'Neill era. Why was it the best era, guys? Why was the Martin O'Neill era the best era? Why do people always bang on about the Martin O'Neill era? Someone tell me quickly in the chat. Why is the Martin O'Neill era always the era that people drum on about? It's simple. The names of players. But do we ever talk about the success of Martin O'Neill era? Trophies? No. Because there wasn't. We talk about where he qualified in Europe. Okay. And so when you talk about eras, you talk about trophies. We still hold on to 1982 for a reason, guys, because we won a trophy, and we talk about the greats of those teams, right? We've got to know. Guess what? Same energy with players. Harry Kane has never been given praise because he's never won a trophy. This season, he's going to win it. Are we all changing our tune on Harry Kane? Of course, people will. At least he won a trophy now. At least he's got a trophy. He can be in that world-class argument now because he won a trophy. John Gregory, Ron Atkinson. We talk about the eras where you win stuff. Unai Emery's current era is good for us right now because we've been such in the dullards in the last 10, 15 years. And I completely agree. Unai Emery has transitionalized and absolutely saved Aston Villa Football Club. But if Unai doesn't win a trophy, and the reason I say this is I'm a big reader of his interviews and the way he speaks. And he speaks very abrupt and to the point. Unai Emery will not shut up about winning trophies because he knows that's his expectation. He's basically told me and you and the chat that when he came to Aston Villa, his goal was told to win trophies and qualify for Europe. Is the qualifying Europe enough to keep him the job each season? Potentially. But what if we don't start qualifying for Europe? Then he has to win a trophy. And Newcastle and Eddie Howe will always be that team now who'll be known as the team. Eddie Howe will always be known as the manager who broke Newcastle's trophy duck. Unai needs that trophy, chat, badly. He needs it badly. Managers' legacies are known on trophies. Unai Emery, his accolade, and this backs it up. Why do we all love and back Unai Emery? Why do we always talk and rival fans keep saying to us, "Oh, you should go in the you should go in the Europa League because that's made for Unai"? Why does he say it? And why do rivals say it? Because Unai's won 4 trophies. They don't talk about Unai Emery's Champions Leagues because he doesn't have any. They don't talk about his domestic. They're obsessed with the fact that Unai's won that competition, the Europa League, 4 times. Unai's legacy is done on trophies, and rightly so. That's how he's got himself into these managerial positions. Rafa Benitez. When I say the name Rafa Benitez, what do you remember? What do you remember when I say the word Rafa Benitez? It's the first thing I think of is Champions League. This guy in a winner of Champions League. Because of Liverpool 2005. Why is Arteta getting cussed out every year? Because he ain't winning trophies. Why does Pep can have the stinkiest season ever and have money in the bank? Because he's won trophies. When a Manchester United manager in bloody Ten Hag get an extra couple of months into the new season because he won the FA Cup. You have to win trophies as a manager to have your ammunition. Unai Emery's done that, and that's why he's landed top jobs. Unai Emery gets all our respects because we know he can win. So I pray for him that he lands that trophy at Aston Villa. He debunks the myth about never winning a trophy in England, and he builds his empire. It's madness. It's madness that trophies can define you, but it is the correct situation. Yeah. But chat, it's been nothing but class. Gary as well. Big up. If you are new today, it's the first time, make sure you subscribe, get your notification bell on. We go live 7 p.m. most days. It's going to be a madness of a summer. But there we go. There we go. But look, shout out to the chat. It's been a long one, and I've enjoyed it. Big up to Villaman Cloudy, to Michael, to AVSC85, to Animal. Believe you're a Palace fan. Congratulations if you are. If there's any Crystal Palace fans in here, seriously, you deserved it today. Congratulations. Good luck in the final. Gary, appreciate it. Meeks, appreciate it. Rich Burton, legend. Standing, legend. Michael Dimmock, Cloudy. Paul Welford, Captain. Captain Mike and Captain Einsight. 2 captains. Multi McGurk, big up. Wallop, big up to you. Claymore RC, big up. Bongo Bongo. All the shout outs. If you've been in the chat, then big up to you guys. Unai is here. He said, Unai speaks. Unai speaks. Right. Well, try and get some rest. Don't watch any of the highlights. Damn. Yeah. Don't watch the highlights. Big up. God bless. See you soon. Shout out to Heidi. And I'll see you all tomorrow, I guess, 7 p.m. Let's try and pick ourselves up again. Up the Villa. Ta-da. I'm out of here. Smash the like button on the way out. Ta-da.